And welcome in to Talking Twins, Zolgad and Declan Goff. Mackey was going to do this show, but I think he got smart and bailed because, Declan, I was pretty sure that about half hour ago we were going to be talking about a Twins victory over the Milwaukee Brewers, a 5-3 win, or no, 5-2 win in game one. The bullpen had been lights out. It looked like Alex Colomé was going to come in and get his first save as the Twins closer, whether they want to call him the closer or not. And then, unfortunately, all hell broke loose. And Colomé, instead of taking the sure out at first base, decided to try and get a double play. And he threw to Polanco, and he pulled him off the bag. And from there on, the Brewers then came back to tie the game and then won it in the bottom of the 10th. And I will give credit to Dex on this one. Morneau called this because he said the Twins are, after they blew the lead, he said the Twins are in big trouble now because they've used all of their high leverage bullpen guys and the Brewers have not. And then your man crush, Josh Hader.
Oh, God.
Josh Hader came in and Dick Bremer started talking about how he wasn't great during the 60 game. And, he wasn't, a lot of people didn't perform great during that 60 game shortened season. But anyway, he came in and it was Astudillo, good morning. Arise, good afternoon. And then Jay Cave with no chance, good night. Chance. And that was that. Credit to Justin, though, because Morneau called it exactly. He said they're in big trouble now. It's one game. It's opening day. So, I don't want to overreact to it, despite the fact that I tend to overreact at times. But that being said, it's a disappointment when you blow a game like this.
Oh, it's bad. Look, it's opening day. We've been waiting for baseball for the last 6 months. There's that 18-game postseason losing streak still lingering. But spring training rolls around, and you get really excited. And then opening day comes around, and then there's a 4-hour baseball game, but the thing's winding down, and you think, all right, it's been a day, but this is baseball. That's what happens. Sometimes games take a long time. And all you had to do, Alex Colomé, all you had to do was take that ball and just underhand it to first base. You knew Christian Yelich was coming up, one of the best players in the National League. And then Max Kepler makes a goof. Tough play at the end of the day. Still got to have it. Still got to have it. It's not an error, but you still got to have it. And unfortunately, the Twins, then they run into the buzzsaw that is Josh Hader. Yeah, my favorite. I have this shirt. It's from my friends at Routine Baseball. It says, Windy Peppercorn is a dime, for my love of Windy and for my love of the Sandlot. But at the same time, I need a Josh Hader one, too, because that guy is absolutely filthy. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, you said it. And then Randy Dobnak with his new electric slider. But, At that point, you didn't stand a chance with the runner at second. So,
no.
Game over.
Which, by the way, I see that you were popping a Corona hard seltzer. I'm absolutely shocked. See, that's the great thing about that drink. The beverage allows you to celebrate or commiserate.
That's right.
It goes both ways. It's fantastic. So the sad thing about this, though, is that in my notes, Dex, I was all prepared, and I think that we could still talk about it because it's a good thing. I was all prepared to praise the bullpen and to talk about the bullpen, right? Duffy came in and was not great, but he got out of his jam. Then Stashik, strikeout, 3 up, 3 down, which I believe was the first 3 up, 3 down of the entire game. It didn't come until the 7th, which is, by the way, the recipe for a 4-hour baseball game. Taylor Rogers, in fact, we'll get into that tweet in a second, had absolutely electric stuff, a strikeout. He definitely looked like the Taylor Rogers of 2 years back. Hansel Robles, I got a text from my friend Declan Goff saying, I don't trust him here. He's going to blow up. Not only did he not blow up, he struck out 2 and sent the Brewers down 1-2-3. And it all led to Colomé, and you thought to yourself, oh, this is absolutely going to be perfect. Like the bullpen, this is how the bullpen is supposed to work. And in fact, if it worked the way that we thought it was going to, the Twins wouldn't have even faced Josh Hader, and it was going to be fantastic. But get into the tweet that you sent me about Taylor, because this is the one. He had a rough shortened year in 2020, and his stuff today was back to being really good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it was a rough, but it was a down year for him last year.
I thought it was rough for him.
Yeah, he also ran into some bad luck analytically. They said some things weren't going his way and he had some bad bounces. Yeah. But this is from Jeremy Machio. He's a research analyst and he's a pitching coach as well as the host of the State Street podcast. So gets him a little shout out here. But he said a little context what happened in that inning for Taylor Rogers. Today, his slowest fastball was 96.3 miles per hour. Last season, his fastest pitch was 96.3 miles per hour. Today, his fastest pitch was 98 and averaged 97.3. Rodgers is up to something here. So basically, his velo climbed in the first start of the year. That's great. This is opening day. We are naturally going to overreact to all the positive and the negative things that happen. But I told you and Jake DePew on our preview show on Monday when he said, what's your most confident? Who are you most confident? And I said, I think it's Taylor Rogers bouncing back and being the fireman that he was in 2019. And look, he's not on Josh Hader level. Like, even if this is Taylor Rogers' ceiling, what we saw today, the nastiness that is Josh Hader still is a notch above what Taylor Rogers can bring, and it's not close. Like and again, I could make a whole podcast dedicated to my love for Josh Hader. I'm not going to do that today.
Twins aren't getting him.
No, and
I'll give him up. They're not going to get him now, okay? No, they're not getting him.
You want Kyle Garlick?
Josh Hader's not coming here, okay?
Kyle Garlick? Want Brent Rooker? Since you don't want to use him either? Yeah, I'll give what do you want?
Do that.
Pick up the phone, Milwaukee. I got some offers for you. But yes, Taylor Rogers is going to be, I think, your number one guy. But then, yeah, you burn through all your other elite of relievers throughout the course of the game. And with the runner on second base, which, by the way, I don't have an issue with. I don't have an issue with the runner at second. I really don't. Just end the bleeping baseball game with how slow things go these days. Yeah. But you don't stand a chance when Hader's on the mound, even if there's a runner at second base. Your best chance was the pass ball. Think about that. Your best chance of scoring that run was a pass ball or a wild pitch.
In fact, let me see here. I'm going to get the box score called up here on MLB.com. I want to see what the official time of game was, because that game took forever. And in fact, I said going into last year, Dex, I said, runner on second in the 10th, really hokey. Like, this is a bad idea. I was totally wrong. I love it. Time of game, 4:14.
Oh.
4:14 was the time of game. And you know what? If this was just an opening day thing and was not the norm, I'd be like, okay, it's too long, right? But here's the scary thing. This is baseball now. But think about this for a second, too, because it is absolutely, when it comes to Rob Manfred's league, it is hilarious. So this, and I like it, but this is a league now that it's accepted is going to put a guy on second base in scoring position to start extras. Okay, cool. Progressive idea. To your point, Dex, you're exactly right. Let's get the game done. It is also a league, though, where they will not allow in National League parks Nelson Cruz to play and DHs to play. So, in one way, it's 1925 baseball. Here's the pitcher. Here's Kenta Maeda to bunt. And then we get to the 10th, and it's like, and anything goes. Let's put a guy. Like, how are we talking about a sport that, in one sense, is so progressive that they're like, screw it. The game's gone too long. We're going to put a guy on second to start the 10th, which, okay, cool. But then the comeback to that is, but we're also going to have pitchers hit, and Nelson Cruz has to pinch it, and that's all he could do for 3 games.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Think about how backwards that is.
It's classic baseball, man. This is what baseball does. Imagine if you're in a football game and you're playing the AFC, and because you're playing the Jets in New York, you can't do a 3 wide receiver set. Exactly. That's not allowed. You have to go fullback and 2 tight ends, no more than 2 wide receivers on the field, and that's basically what it is. It's a shame that Nelson only gets the 1 pinch hit at bat, and then also this is why I also hate it. It allows you to take out your starter early because you see a moment in the game where you want to bust it open and the double switch. And I know Judd, I know you love the double switch.
Yes.
Our old friend Rami in Milwaukee, he still loves him at some double switch and traditional baseball things.
Yes,
but I think you and I can both recognize that this is one of our favorite sports. We love this sport, but it is on life support. And I can't tell you that doing something like eliminating the designated hitter, the most important fun thing to get fans to watch the game, and in the Twins' case, their best player, Nelson Cruz, has to sit on the bench and will, at the very best, maybe take 3 at-bats this whole series.
Exactly. And look, I personally have always I like the double switch, and I like the National League style. But I'm also not hypocritical enough to sit here and defend that and say, but I also really like a guy on second base to start the 10th. It's like, okay, you know what? Even a person like me who probably deems himself to be more of a traditionalist than most people say, taking the best offensive player off the field for 3 games is probably not a good idea. And to your point, to get younger fans in, what do they want? They want to see offense. They want to see Nelson Cruz hit, not Brandon Woodruff or Kenta Maeda hit. Okay, let's get to the potential bad news here.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to take you through this play.
I think I know where you're going. Yep.
Top of the first. Arise lines out to short to start the game. Josh Donaldson then comes up, and he smokes a ball. Absolutely smoked it to the gap in left center field. And my immediate thought was, and I'm not joking, stop it first. Just stop it first, because you're going to have to, because this is a clear-cut double for most guys, but you have leg problems. And I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to have to, if you're going to try to get to second, leg out this potential double. Well, of course, he keeps going with his, I guess, what you could consider the new running style, as he talked about. I have a new style of running. And sure enough, as soon as the camera cuts to JD, you see him sort of grab the back of his leg, and there's something wrong, and he gets to second, and the Bramer and Morneau are trying to say, well, I mean, he's staying in the game, so this might be and you thought he's coming out for sure, and he does. Now the Twins said that this is not a calf problem. The immediate announcement in the press box was that this was a hamstring problem, and as we look at a tweet there, that Baldelli says the Twins will take the off day on Friday to evaluate Josh Donaldson's right hamstring. Probably won't have more of an update today, according to Do Hung Park. He did say it doesn't appear to relate to Donaldson's calf. Seems isolated to the hamstring. The problem, Dex, just quickly with this,
absolutely,
is that I like the Twins folks. Like, I like Rocco, and I like Thad, and I like Derek. But when it comes to injuries, they have never been truthful. So one, I don't trust them on this. And two, at Donaldson's age, a hamstring is a major problem too. So it's not like, oh, good, it's a hamstring and not the calf. If he pulled his hamstring because he's compensating for the calf, that's a problem too. I will put my paycheck right now on at least a stint on the injured list that keeps him out probably for a decent portion of the month of April, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. I mean, I didn't say stop at first, but the moment he roped one to the left center gap, and I even thought, like, oh God, like isn't it bad to think like this is like one of perennially over the last 6-7 years, one of the best hitters in the game, one of the best players, not just hitters, players in the game. He's an elite defender too, and I thought the same thing, like, oh God, what if where is he? How's he running? How's he taking the turn? Oh my God, he learned how to run again. And I immediately again pulled up that Instagram post from he had last summer, and he says, I tore my calves seven times in 2 years prior to that post in July of 2020. And I learned how to run differently. Josh, you're 34, 35 years old. You've gotten paid, you have security. I get it. You're not 25 anymore. And also, Josh really came to the league and started blossoming at a later age than traditional baseball stars start to blossom. So I get it. I totally get that you have to, do things you weren't able to do prior in the younger parts of your career. But this is concerning. This is very concerning because him and Byron Buxton are these integral X factors in your lineup. And you remove both of them, number one, offensively and mostly defensively, it's going to cause issues. Luis Arraez, he wasn't ready to play third base today. For God's sakes, they stuck him in left field to start the game because they have to, because there's no DH. And that was that's not a great plan for success either. So Josh's injury is going to linger here. It's going to be a linger, and I'll go with you. He probably doesn't play again this series. I think at this point you evaluate tomorrow and you see where it goes.
No, I'm saying a good portion of the month of April. Like, this is a hamstring. He has problems here. It's not like, oh, good, it's just a hamstring. It's more along the lines of he's clearly trying to compensate for the calf and he pulled something again. Like this is, I don't know what you do here other than, and this sounds bad, but other than be thankful for what you might get. Like you can't rely on him at this point. You just can't. And he can't, every time he attempts to run the bases, Declan, it's an issue now every single time. And when you have to hold your breath on the first hit that he gets in the top of the first on opening day, which I was, that's a real problem here. So, I mean, to me, it's almost to a point now where if you get something from him, it's gravy, but I don't think that you can go in now expecting things. And this is going to take, if the Twins had a history of being completely truthful about guys being hurt, I might say it might be fine, but they don't. And hamstrings scare me. And this is unfortunate because as we talked about with the Pew on Monday and you and me and Phil have discussed, I mean, to what you're saying, when you're looking at the most important guys, right? Like the dynamic guys, potentially, at least on this team, offensively and defensively, you're looking at Simmons at shortstop for sure, Buxton, total package, Donaldson at third. And if you start to take those guys out of the mix now, it's going to make a difference. And I know that in 2019 with the Braves, Josh played in, I believe, 155 games, and if I'm not mistaken, hit 37 home runs. He had a fantastic year, a great year, and that got him this contract. But I really think it's basically back to the drawing board, and if you can get something from him, it's great. But when you're worried about him literally leaving the batter's box, which means you can't go like, well, let's DH him. One, you got Cruz, and two, guess what? Still gets hurt. I don't know what you do other than just take what he gives you and say thank you, but you're going to have alternate plans.
And I think, and this just came to me, Judge Zolgad, I think your alternate plan with if Josh is shelved here and you need an extra body on the bench, Rooker or Kirilloff are probably going to be on the way. I would probably go with Kirilloff more than Rooker because they probably again, it's service time with Kirilloff.
April 16th.
It's 100%.
See ya April 16th, Dex. You ain't seen them before then. And they're not going to forfeit that.
Rooker's 26 years old. I've told you before, there's everything he's been able to accomplish. I would be pretty surprised if by tomorrow or even if by in the next hour or two from one of our local beat writers here that there's going to be a transaction of him being called up.
I think he's with him though, right? Because he was technically he was taken off the 26-man, but he was put on the taxi squad, which still exists. So I think he might be with them. So yeah, he'll definitely be.
But
yes,
they would have to. They would have to make a corresponding roster move, right? Because their roster's at 26, so like they can't.
Well, you're gonna have to. Yes,
IL him. Right?
IL Donaldson.
You'd have to IL Donaldson.
Yes, God. You cannot do what drove Phil nuts, and he was right about this. You cannot do old school Twins. Oh, he might be back. He might be back on Sunday. So let's not. And then it's like 2 weeks and you still haven't IL'd him. IL him now. And if it's a hamstring, do it right now. Remove any temptation for anyone to play him. Like it's just a fact. The question is off of what you're saying though. What do you do at third base now? Arise become your everyday third baseman, and I don't believe Kirilloff comes up until the service time thing is done, and I think that is April 16th. Do you do that? Because, and I don't love this, but you could do it. The other option is in spring training, at least a few times, Miguel Sano was moved back to third base. So like Miguel Sano could play third base, and you could, and if you get Rooker up, and just for now, and you put like Garlic or Cave or a Rise in left field and keep that rotation going, Dex, you could put Rooker, I think, at first base. I think he's played there. So like that's an option. And the one thing about Miguel at third that's not a complete disaster now is despite the air today when Miguel actually made a really good throw on what should have been a 3-6-1 DP, and Simmons dropped that ball. Simmons will get to balls that Sano can't get to.
Mm-hmm.
So you could theoretically try to go with Sano at third, Rooker at first, possibly, and trust that Simmons will pick up some of the slack for Miguel's shortcomings at third base.
Yeah, well, I think even they've tried Polanco over there before. I think I think Polanco could even dabble if he wanted to in a pinch, but I think their number one option is Arise. Arise would be their go-to option.
Yep.
I guess they would probably be more reluctant to put Polanco at third than put Sano at third because Sano at least has played there.
And Polanco needs to just play second. Like, that's his new position.
Sure.
Miguel's spot is first base, but I think that they would the fact that they gave him time there in spring training to me tells me that they are more flexible with him than probably Polanco going back to short or playing third base. That's my guess.
So yeah, they'll have to figure out a way to replace it. Yeah, you have platoon options. It's not it's a loss in the lineup, and it's a loss on the diamond. That's for sure. Because Josh Donaldson, when healthy, when active, one of the best players in baseball. The issue is he has played outside of the 2019 season with the Braves. He has missed more than 50% of the games he's played in. So that it's been a disaster with him trying to stay healthy. So hopefully this isn't too bad, but I mean, if 7 calf tears, a different running style, hamstring regardless, like I don't care, like that, just it's leg. Even like how much you and I always give hockey crap for lower body, upper body. You have lower body issues. This is a lower body issue, brother. So this is a significant problem for the Twins going forward.
And this is the danger of veterans getting big free agent contracts. Yep. And look, we all bought in, and don't tell me you can't on one hand accuse the Twins of traditionally being cheap and then say, but this is a terrible signing. You know what? Malware these are the dangers of contracts.
Yep.
And when you go sign a guy and make that splash move and your fan base is all like, Josh Donaldson, 37 home runs in 2019 with the Braves, it's going to be great. These are the dangers and the pitfalls that we all take. And now to turn around and say, well, that was stupid. Guess what? Everybody demanded that they do something. All right. Max Kepler, I'm sorry. You had 2 hits in spring training? Yep. Absolutely. Patrick kept telling me, Royce, how bad he looked. He grounds out to second in the first. In the third, he singles. In the fifth, he triples. And in the seventh, he doubles to left and came up in the ninth with a chance to hit for the cycle. He flew out to left field. But Max Kepler, I owe you an apology because you had 2 hits in spring training? 2 hits, right?
Yep.
And I said, oh boy, this looks bad. Max Kepler, aside from the sort of dropped ball, like I'm not going to blame him completely. That's a tough play, but I agree with what you said earlier, which is that catch has to be made.
Yep. I
am sorry, Max Kepler. I assumed that you were going to continue to be horrible, and at least for one day, but it counts in the statistics. You weren't.
Yeah, Max, I'm more bullish on Max. I wasn't too freaked out about it. I will say, outside of 2019 when he was a very good player, I even think he got some MVP votes, lower tier, but he got some MVP votes. That does say something about all the teams and players in baseball. In 2019, he was able to hit lefties. And outside of 2019, he has been abysmal against left-handed pitching. Today, I believe all of his hits came off of righties, and good for him. He can mash righties. I would assume that a lefty hitter can mash right-handed pitching. I would assume that's how that works in baseball. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about spring training statistics. That's why I don't get too up in arms over them. But a very productive game for Max Kepler. Very productive game. I'm glad you would apologize too. Good for you.
I owed him an apology. You know what? If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. It's just ordinarily I'm not wrong about stuff like that. But I was wrong about that. I was totally wrong about that. Byron Buxton. Byron Buxton hit let me look at my notes here. 456-foot home run that I think hit around the scoreboard area. And it was the longest home run that he has hit in his career. Okay. Here's what I love about it. Byron Buxton can now regularly, and he has shown this for at least a couple of years now, but it's just good to see again on opening day. Byron Buxton, Dex, can now take mistakes and crush them. Absolutely. No, I'm serious. Like And I know what you're saying. You're all saying, and you're right about this. Well, he's going to be next to get hurt. In fact, I got that tweet. Well, Buxton, it's going to be Donaldson and then Buxton. I understand the concern there, and I'm with you. I'm concerned too about that. That being said, Byron Buxton, if you're going to take a positive, he struck out twice. He walked twice, which is good. But I love the fact that he is now the type of player who can absolutely crush mistakes.
Yeah. But Buxton, you got the full Buxton experience, in my opinion, today. And I know that's a cliche we can use for a lot of different players. But first 2 at-bats, 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. I mean, everyone's been waiting for him to become even a halfway decent OBP guy. I think when you get to this point in your career, you are who you are. Like, Byron Buxton's not going to be able to work a walk. Byron Buxton's not going to be able to work a count. But he does have obviously very good power, and if he jumps on the pitch he's looking for, he can put it out in the seats. You saw it today, 456-foot bomb at Miller Park, and you know what you're getting with his defense, which is one of the best defenders of his generation. To be completely honest, when he's been on the field, he really is one of the best center fielders defensively the game has seen in the last 20 years. But he's not going to be someone who works a count and is able to work a walk. Honestly, if I can get the elite defense and I get him for 140 games, I don't care if that OBP is 290 or 330. I really don't care because he's healthy for 140 games, and if he's hitting bombs, that's the thing, especially with lineup construction. Like, everyone always thought he'd be a leadoff hitter or a 3 hitter, but Mauler batted him 3 on opening day, I believe, in 2016. Everyone's like, wow, batting him 3rd. He hit 190 last year. Well, if you have other guys in your lineup who can get on base and get ahead of him, then you can bat him 6. Like Byron Buxton at his production, being a 290 OBP guy, but someone who can maybe slug close to 500, right there, that's a 6 hitter, man. That's and the entire construction of lineups has been changing. You know, a leadoff hitter is no longer a scrappy type of Luis Arraez who was in the hole today at the leadoff spot. Now you can put guys who have power in the leadoff spot. So
Kepler.
Where you put Buxton, like, yeah, he might not be the leadoff guy or 3 hitter you've always envisioned him to be, but if he's in that 6 hole and he's hitting bombs like this is great, man. This is exactly what you want.
Buxton did walk twice. I'll say this. I believe that he has the ability to work counts. He's still going to strike out. And so, yes, he is never going to be the prototypical player for or what you think he should be. That's fair. Like, you would think, yes, he should be able to steal a ton of bases and get on base, which he can. But the fact that he worked 2 walks, to me, is a really positive thing. And look, if Donaldson is going to be gone now for I don't know how long, I mean, Buxton finally, if the Twins can ever get to the point where this guy, and I say this with great trepidation because I don't want to jinx him, but if the Twins can ever get to the point where this guy can stay on the field, right, can absolutely not run into fences, or he has a whole nother multitude of ways of getting hurt, it becomes key. But I think he can get the on base up. And to go back to the 2-run home run, that was certainly a nice thing. I just saw a note there, and I want to touch on this too, because you brought this up. I think you brought this up at the beginning of last year as a concern, and I was sort of like, I don't think it's a concern. And then I acknowledged as the season progressed, and this guy continued to just struggle up a storm. Now, again, it's one game, folks. Dex gets that. I get that. So we are not passing judgment. But Mitch Garver, 3 strikeouts in his first 3 at-bats today, then a ground out to third base, and then a fly to left in the 9th. 0 for 5. The fly to left, he almost got hold of and put it out. He did not, though. Mitch Garver, what do your Declan Spidey senses tell you about Mitch Garver for 2021? Because you did call it for 2020.
I knew regression was coming. He was basically Mike Piazza in 2019 in like 94 games. He had like 30 bombs. You knew the book was going to come out at him. He was also a late bloomer. He got called up and really didn't start hitting his stride till he was older. I don't think he was able to make those adjustments. I don't think he's as abysmal as he was in 2020. I also don't think he's going to be the silver slugger he was in 2019. That being said, if you can platoon and have him and Ryan Jeffers be successful, but Mitch Garver's, yes, I think you can. Yes, you can.
My question is, do you feel that Mitch is not really going to pop back? Because I mean, he was unplayable for a good portion,
for sure,
of last year.
I do think he's playable. I do think there's something there if you can platoon him right. But Ryan Jeffers is on his tail too. Like Ryan Jeffers can absolutely step in here and be ready to go. So I'm not ready to hit like a panic button. And also like Mitch Garver's, issues are so far down on the things that I'm concerned about over the crux of the team that, don't get me wrong, an 0 for 5 day, 3 strikeouts. Yeah, that's, hit the showers, buddy. Not a great day. At the same time, just his issues aren't going to be what holds me back. There is someone who has entered the stream here, Judge Zolgad. We have a surprise entrance, and by God, he's coming right down the tunnel as we speak from the Pacific Northwest. Look who's joined the party.
Hey, so I got to admit, like I was watching the Twins all afternoon. My Bally Sports North feed cut out just a little bit before the end of the 9th, and so I didn't see how the Twins closed it out. But I'm assuming that the Twins celebrating a big win. Colome coming in,
struck out the side. It was unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 95. 98, 97, seal. Oh, wait. No, that was not Colome. That was the Brewers. That was Dex's guy.
Oh, that was
Josh Hader.
Yeah.
Wait. This is why I keep score. Let me tell you what happened.
Oh, my, there it is.
Oh, the Twins only lost 6-5. They only lost 6-5.
Listen, I just came on to say, and since I joined this late, I'll just withhold most of my takes for tomorrow's Mackey and Judd show. I just wanted to come on though and say the season's officially over. You might as well start. I would start shopping most of my veterans at this point. I think Nelson Cruz. Once Josh Donaldson comes back in August, I think maybe you could swing a trade. Does the waiver deadline even still? So we need Josh Donaldson to come back by like July 10th to showcase himself. Are they saying it's a hamstring officially, or
that's a hamstring?
Okay, because they can't say calf, so I wouldn't trust it either way.
They're going to evaluate.
But I told Dex this, Phil, how he's 32, right?
Well, he looks. I mean, his lower
35?
body is 74.
He's 34
but yeah.
or 35. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
his lower body is at least twice that.
So explain this. How is like a hamstring good news? Like he's going to be IL'd. This is not like dodged a bullet. It's not.
I love. Yeah, we're at the point with him where it's like, don't worry, guys. It's just he just popped his hamstring. Don't worry.
I mean, do you know how long a hamstring can keep an athlete out for? Like this is not good news.
It's amazing. I mean, can we do like I've played in softball leagues before where you can just have a guy sort of start. So you've got the hitter and then you got a base runner that sort of starts even with the plate, and when the ball gets put in play, that guy then
courtesy
runs
runner type of thing.
Yeah,
that's what I should
could we do that for Josh Donaldson? Maybe
I don't know what
they're
they're
memo into the league. The league's open to changes, so I don't
know what they're going to do here. Like I don't know, and I can tell you this whole thing of we don't think it's too bad. You will be lucky if you see him play again in the month of April.
Zero chance he plays in April, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Zero chance. Although he is 1 for 1, so he.
Put
some sting on that ball.
It's unbelievable.
God. Anyhow, I just wanted to pop in and say season's over. Let's start. We'll start tomorrow on Mackey and Judd. Top 10 players the Twins should look to sell off leading up to the trade deadline. Don't miss it. It'll be great.
Garver for Trout.
Yes.
You might have to throw in Larnick to make that happen.
Oh,
no. Kyle Garlick for
Bellinger.
Belginger. We'll just do these trades.
Who, by the way,
I
got
heard.
called out on a home run today because he passed Justin Turner on the base paths. I love baseball.
Welcome back.
I love baseball.
That's the thing about baseball. If a ball goes over the fence, does it really matter? Like if one guy passes the other, the ball's over the fence. It's just like why do they even have to run the bases? Just the ball's over the fence. It's a home run. So
Last thing. Explain this one. Okay. So this is a sport, and I actually like this now. That in the 10th puts a guy on second base, scoring position to expedite the game, which I think is great. Like I didn't like the idea. I like it now. But the Twins also played a game today in which the DH is forbidden, which is like 1935 National League rule. Like, how does any of this make sense?
I will say, like, the emotions I went through as this game was progressing. It's like, all right, baseball's back. This is amazing. And then the game was 3 hours old and they were still in the second inning. And then toward the end of the game, it was like, all right, the Twins are going to win this. They're going to close it out. And then, oh my God, meltdown. And then my emotions went toward, oh, that's right, extra innings. Now this game might not end for 2 hours. And then I remembered, oh, that's right, they put a guy in second base. This is going to end quickly.
You're like this.
So I did enjoy the pace of extra innings today, I guess. But that was it's a pretty bad loss to start the season.
4:14. That to me is the key statistic. 4 hours and 18 minutes.
It's aggressive. It's aggressive. I did get, so I have the MLB package here, and I didn't realize, like, you can watch either team's feed, and I just figured that out at the end. I finally got the Twins feed in extra innings when I figured out, I can just, like, click a button. Yep. But so I listened to the Brewers broadcasters for the majority of this game, and they were mispronouncing Twins names. It was pretty bad. I think we should all be very happy to have Justin Morneau analyzing these games on a regular basis in Minnesota. So that's a silver lining. Justin Morneau was great.
Whose name did they butcher or mispronounce?
Areas.
Oh yeah, okay, that's it.
There was another one too. I can't remember, but they definitely just mailed in Arise. It was Louis Arias.
He's only been around for like 3 years now.
Classic.
Yeah, he's the modern day Tony Gwynn, but don't bother getting his name right. That's fine. Don't worry about it. So, anywho, all right. I just want to crash your guys' party.
We'll talk tomorrow. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Yeah. Don't forget to Mackie and Judd tomorrow with Phil, I'm sure, spewing hot takes on this game and the Twins. Last thing for you.
Yeah.
Kenta Maeda, your thoughts. Obviously, location was suspect. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'm that concerned. In fact, I'm not concerned. The only thing that surprised me, Declan, was he got left. I thought he would get pinch hit for, and that
me too.
Good old Rocco would after yanking him in the midst of what was a really, really solid pitching performance in Game 1 of the playoffs. Yes. I thought they're going to pinch hit for his butt in a split second, and they left him in far longer. Like if we go on a time machine back in time against the Astros, I'd get Rocco to leave him in, and today I'd say, if you want to take him out after 3, take him out. I don't care.
For sure. No, in our, maybe we'll do this tomorrow. Maybe even impromptu thing we'll do tomorrow. In our pie chart of blame of why the Twins lost this game.
I like that. I like
executive
what you're doing.
Producer.
I like that.
Kenta Maeda doesn't crack my pie chart of blame. Like even Mitch Garver, to go back to our Garver, like that doesn't crack my pie chart of blame. You look, fine start, 88 pitches, 57 strikes. You'd like to see a little bit better ratio. 5 strikeouts. I missed the write that down point. And of course, I missed the 3 runs or less because Alex Colomé screwed me. So the batting average, I'm taking my own. I'm making this all about me, which is I love to do. Bad week of write that down predictions for the executive producer. I'm falling down just like Mitch Garver's batting average here.
You had the one today. All the Bullpen had to do was save your butt. You had it today. You were in great shape.
And I was 1 strikeout away from my 6 for Kenta Maeda, so we only got 5. So I got really just bent over.
One more for you.
Yeah.
And because I saw a couple of tweets about this after the game got done. Your thoughts on Arcia not being intentionally walked?
You should have walked him. You 100% should have walked him.
Yep. Because that set up that weird play at the semi-weird play.
And that you're talking about the bottom of the 9th too, or are you talking about the the bottom?
No, I'm talking about the 10th.
Yeah, because even in the bottom of the 9th,
you got the guy on second, and you could put him on first.
Even in the bottom of the 9th, I would have walked him, right? Because it was second and third when those 2 runs came in the tie. I believe it was second and third.
That was Travis Shaw.
Yeah, so like you walk, and it was a lefty, so it's a lefty on the righty, and like you have to walk him too. So I'm telling you, Colomé.
Are you saying Baldelli dropped the ball?
A little bit. A little tease, Baldelli does make my pie chart of blame. Not a big chunk, but Baldelli does make my pie chart of blame tomorrow. I think we will have to bust that back out. It's going to be
a huge hunk of pie.
For God's sakes, Judd, this game started at 1 o'clock. I was hoping to maybe get a walk-in or even just take a nap before I have to watch Mighty Ducks. Now I have to get dinner in. I got to watch Mighty Ducks. I got the Wild game at 9:30. The grind does not stop. The grind never stops.
And you can watch it all on Bally Sports North. In case you've not heard, they changed their name.
Yes, they have. This is my first Bally Sports North full game in a long time. I've been watching Randy Hahn and Brett Hedick on the Sharks broadcast.
How'd you get to this game? Just out of curiosity.
I have ways. I have ways. Just like, how does Rocco Baldelli go from Alex Colomé and then into Randy Dobnak? Yeah, I got my ways. There's a method to my madness.
He had no choice. He had left himself no room. Yes. You still could have watched the Brewers telecast. All right.
I could have.
All right, talking Twins. I don't know how often we're going to do post-game Twin shows, but this one was opening day, and clearly, you know what? If they hadn't melted down, we would have done it. The fact that they did, we did it. Hope for the Twins' sake that their third baseman's back at some point in time, right?
God willing.
And as Deck said, don't forget, Mackie and Judd, which you can find at all of these good places. We will, I think we will do. In fact, send that note out, Declan. We'll do a pie chart of blame as well tomorrow, and you will give a huge slice of pie to Alex Colome. We will talk to you later.
Big dogs got to eat.
Yeah, they do. They do.